Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, your executive producer here, and thanks for tuning in to watch or listen to whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to. In these trying times, we really do appreciate everyone that feels that we are worth their time, and we hope that we're able to give you something entertaining to while away the time as you spend it. We particularly want to thank those of you that feel like we're worth financially contributing to, particularly our $25 and up supporters on Patreon, who are Antitonic, Drevian Alexander, Catwater Flame, Rowan Parker, and Samantha Bates. Yes, I read that off of a list. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that in these uncertain times, finances are tough for everybody, so that you're willing to donate to us means a lot to all of us here, and we thank you. That being said, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hunters of Vigil, Terminus Tendency, our New World of Darkness chronicle. I am William, or Shawnee, whichever name you prefer, and joining me today, I am your storyteller. Joining me today, we have Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Thomas Smith, Ashwood Abbey repairman.
And John.
I'm John. I'm playing Zaro Albright, the Chiron Group Atlanta Director of Operation Black Lives Matter, Trans Rights or Human Rights. Fuck cops.
When did that become a long A?
Which one? Zaro?
Zaro. Rather than Zero.
Zaro. When I was talking is when that happened.
So we're gonna call him Zorro from here on out. It's gonna be great.
Zero.
Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jerry. I'm playing Nina Sky, Union Satanist rock star.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Nikolai Dalka, a member of the Ascending Ones, Order of the Southern Temple, unlicensed street physician on this episode of World of Darkness: The Wonder Years.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I am playing Astrid Ashwin, Knights of St. Adrian, Murder Suite.
And when last we left off our cell of hunters, hang
on. Last week it was a torture suite. When did it evolve to a murder suite?
Oh,
murder suite
I'm
is what
sorry.
she usually says.
Yeah, no, I usually say Murder Suite.
I think so.
Am I going insane? I thought you usually say torture suite.
I don't know.
You may have gaslit yourself, but she may have also said torture suite one episode.
Same thing.
I may just be going insane from the pain.
She probably addressed it as a torture suite in episode, whereas at the start, she always says murder suite.
I mean, all I know is the card says wrestler, so it's wrong either way.
I mean, she used to be a wrestler, but now this is how she's identified.
But when last we left our cell of hunters, they had infiltrated and captured the vampire in the sewers underneath the location where Jonas Orion had been taken from. Failed to recover Jonas Orion after realizing that he was there, but before he was vanished, learned that the Cup of Eternity is in fact held by the Council. So whenever you're going to try and get that artifact, you're going to have to deal with them directly. Doing a bit of torture to learn what you can from the vampire, you learned that Jonas is now in the base of the Dark Dark Council, which is a location that he apparently did not know where to find. At least as far as he was willing to divulge, he did not know the location of it, merely how to send someone there. And I believe we had last picked up with Thomas and Nico having a conversation about partying.
I mean,
Yep.
From Thomas's perspective, it's probably about partying. From Nico's perspective, it's how to effectively operate as a member of a party, in this case, a cell of hunters, so that you don't make other people try and run after your ass and get killed in the process. But
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
potato, tomato, it's a thing.
Would
So, in the future, having some, honestly, I think all of us could benefit from talking a little bit more about contingencies before we throw our bodies into these situations time and time again.
Yeah. We're releasing.
But in the meantime, no martyring yourself, no sacrifice plays, doctor's orders,
Cool.
or I'll sick hippo on you.
Did you say hippo or hippa?
The second
Like-
one.
I heard hippo.
So did I.
I also heard hippo.
I heard it too.
Where are we getting a hippo from, Jack?
Zero can afford one.
I mean, yes, I
Get
can,
wrong.
but I need to be informed.
We were in the zoo before.
I am 100% down
With getting a
for
hippo.
this group getting a hippo.
All right,
that we
this is
can
our war
fight
hippo.
This sounds like a bad idea.
Someone's gonna have their head bitten off.
Right? As long as we can figure out how to aim the thing, though, it's not going to be us.
As long as it's the right person getting it. It's all about whether it's the right person
A,
getting
a hippo is a fucking biological guillotine.
Sure he
That should have been the episode title.
is.
Oh boy. Yeah, no. Uh-huh.
And you do
Cool.
not want those fuckers on your ass, all right? The Health Insurance Personal Protection Agency is nobody to fuck with.
Hippos. Yep.
No. Never mind.
Cool.
I'm just waiting for like Thomas to walk past a corridor, like with an open door, see a hippo on the inside of the doorway, and just keep walking.
All right.
You think
Well, good talk.
cool.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna ask, do you think, because I don't know if you know her style. Do you think she'd like a gift in stainless steel or like matte black?
Better do both, just in case. Hedge your
Cool.
bets. Always safer.
Sweet. Thomas is gonna wander off and send a text just to make sure.
Okay.
That it-
Good.
What was the thing you were getting?
Torture tool,
oh, goodness.
antique torture equipment.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
made
but
it.
did I
because I
give
made
you a
it-
specific
You gave
tool
me a
or
name. I don't
Speculum. It was a
remember.
speculum,
speculum? That's it.
No,
wasn't it?
No, it was
No.
the
no,
bowl.
it was something. Yeah.
Oh no,
that
yeah,
was it.
Oh
brazen
yeah,
bull.
brazen bull.
Brazen bull.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
brazen bull. Yep. mhm.
That's
It was
Yep.
big.
it. That's it. We made a joke about a speculum, I think,
Yes.
Mhm.
and also
Yes, because there's a yes.
Yeah, the pair of uncomfiness or whatever it was called.
Was it the pair of discomfort or something? I don't know. Yeah,
No, I'm underselling
most
it. It was much
benign
nastily.
pair of anguish. That's the name of it.
Right, yeah, no.
Even then, it's the most benign term to describe the most cruel thing ever fucking invented.
Shove something,
Probably.
shove
It's
something
right
in a
up there.
wound, spread the wound open while drilling into it. Yeah, that's fucking awful.
So anyway,
welcome to the Final Show Films Torture Toys podcast, where
Welcome to Torture Talk with Final Show.
sponsored by Audible.
Oh
I
god.
feel like
Asterisk,
Twitch
we are
might
not
have
sponsored
to
by
do
Audible.
with us if we turn into a Torture Talk.
I feel like that's a niche that could be filled that isn't currently
oh,
filled.
yeah,
It absolutely is.
I think.
yep. I'm sure the History Channel is looking for programming still.
Why isn't that on History Channel?
I'm
Because
sure
it doesn't
at some point, but
because it doesn't directly relate to aliens in a way that you can
Or
easily
Hitler.
segue. Right.
Or
Alien torture devices coming this summer on History Channel.
I say it's either aliens or World War II.
And World War II alien torture devices.
Let's hit max SEO.
Yeah, they gotta get that SEO rating.
But anyway, you have it's a brazen bull. I don't know if you're going to be able to get it in any color other than bronze.
They come in different.
You can paint the outside.
I feel like I shouldn't even be saying this. Listen,
Jerry's like, no.
I watch a lot of
Look.
horror films. I binged the Saw franchise over the last week plus. Brazen Bulls come in a lot of different shapes,
Yeah,
sizes, and colors.
because bronze holds paint very well, so you can paint
There.
like
It doesn't even have to be bronze.
yeah.
Just a very heat retentive metal.
The whole point is it just has to be something that entraps you in and surrounds you in a fairly tight area. And yes, will conduct heat very well and cook someone alive.
Though I
inside
imagine it's
All right, but
easier
what
to
if you
clean.
have to pee while you're in there?
It doesn't. You don't really
It
worry
That
about
doesn't
makes it
matter at
worse.
that point.
That makes it much
because
worse.
you're being burned to death.
Yeah, the big concern, I think the big reason why you would want it made out of bronze is so that it's easier to clean the inside when you're done.
Yeah, I mean stainless steel also works.
Yeah, though I
God
mean,
damn it! Why are we
stainless
why
steel-
Are we this into...
I
like
feel
how
like
we're theory
I feel like
crafting
stainless
the
steel isn't
optimal
as
brazen bull.
non-stick as bronze is.
Now, I
Eh,
bet you could do a Teflon coating on the interior.
For a modern
But let's
brazen
be
bull, yeah,
honest.
Teflon coating would be ideal.
are you really that concerned with how sanitary it is inside?
Mostly for
And
the smell.
doesn't a little bit of gunk and the like just make the experience that much worse for the person inside?
I feel like I don't want to walk through my brazen bull room and occasionally smell cooked human flesh. So I would want to cook. I would want to rinse it out when I'm done.
If you have a brazen bull, you're not that upset about the smell of cooked human flesh.
Well, no,
Say.
when I'm using the brazen bull, that's when I want to smell that. It's not a smell I want to smell occasionally, randomly. I want that. That's a purpose specific scent.
Hello to our 0 viewers that we have left.
And one less player.
Hi, Holly.
Holy shit. We have tangented before, but that is a new level.
Welcome to Final Show Films, everybody.
Tangents are our specialty.
It's what we do.
Holy shit.
The least watched stream on the internet intentionally.
Or
If you
the
can't-
most watched
if you
by a
can't-
very specific name.
If you can't handle us at our tangent, you don't deserve us at our on topic.
That needs to officially be registered as our motto.
I
I
need
can
that on
that
a
be a
shirt.
trademark phrase for us?
I need it on a-
100% motto. Put that shit on a t-shirt.
Yep.
I'll do some graphic design. I'll mock something up later.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I would buy and
100%.
wear that shirt.
Not even joking. I would
Yeah,
wear
oh,
the
yeah.
shit out of that shirt.
100%.
Maybe it'll actually sell, unlike the last shirt I designed.
I'd be yelling, at least sell 3.
But yeah, so what is next?
I don't fucking remember.
Let's see.
We
Well,
know we've got
we go buy a hippo.
We took care of the mirror. Colleen ate the mirror at this point, right? I
Yes,
think she-
Colleen has consumed the mirror of the dead.
Okay.
Yes, hand mirror.
We have 2 left. Which
Yep.
don't
We
believe
do.
we have leads on.
The Lapis Philosophorum and the Cup of Eternity, one of which you
Yeah.
know is with the Dark Council.
There was talk of what we're going to do about the Jonas situation, which I do not remember specifically.
Well, we know that he's in the council's home base, so Nico's suggestion would be, well, whenever we go get Jonas, we might as well pick up a cup of eternity on the way. We'll be in the area.
Do we
One
want
could
to try-
assume.
Yeah, they have the cup of eternity.
I have no
Oh,
idea
yeah,
where I am.
yeah, the
Yes,
dark
where
complex
Nina
yes.
is
cup.
right
They
now.
That's
have
what my
the-
notes say.
They have the Cup of Eternity. We don't know where the Philosopher's Stone is yet.
Nina and Astrid were drinking.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah,
right. Thank
mhm.
you.
So is Zero, just in the background.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because you're a weirdo.
No, because it wasn't my scene. You guys were having a scene, and so Zero was just in the background drinking.
Nico will rejoin Astrid and et al. Whenever's narratively appropriate.
So how'd it go? The talk with
Who, me?
Thomas?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you
I
see
guess
two
now
people
is
staring at
narratively
you as you
appropriate.
approach?
Okay, I'm just like,
You walked into the scene.
I mean, he's still operating, I think, under the effect that you specifically are mad at him, and so he needs to make up for that somehow. I think maybe a couple of statements got through.
He needs to do
But-
less stupid things that would make up for it.
That's kind of where I landed on stuff. Less throwing yourself on grenades, especially when the grenade disposal team is kind of a unit and should probably handle that kind of thing together. Was the general thrust of what I was trying to get across. So yeah, I think I hit that most of those beats. I'll probably just have to do it 6 or 7 more times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. No, he's 100% going to backtrack. Probably immediately. And that's fine. We just have to keep it's not fine, but you know what I mean. We just have to keep reinforcing it. Eventually
Right.
it will sink in.
It's not fine if it gets him or someone else killed.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's not
That's
fine.
my concern here.
They don't make like motivational tapes for what we do they?
No.
No.
Well,
Nor should they.
Network 0.
Nor should they.
we do, but it's for our operatives. So
Yeah, no, I'm
That
thinking
tracks.
less. I'm thinking less corporate orientation and more just like couple of good juicy taglines to just put on a repeat and a set of headphones kind of thing.
Chiron Group would have like the mantra calendar of hunters.
yeah, we've got like a mantra tape that we put in all of their earpieces. So it's just they have this sort of like localized brainwashing occurring at all times.
Oh, I was just thinking like an inspirational desk calendar or something.
No. It's like,
Okay.
it's like subliminal encoding. It's like-
Oh, okay, that's a different
do
thing.
that
But
on the brainwash guide.
First thing that plays is "I will not fear. Fear is the mind killer."
yeah, exactly. It's
Right.
not gonna. We have to make. I mean, we have to make sure our collections teams are well trained and mentally prepared.
So we've got 2 things to find now.
Yes, the Cup of Eternity and the fancy name for the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, which is just the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
We have 2 objects, but we also need to find Jonas.
Yes,
Right.
Yes.
but Jonas is located in the same place where the Cup of Eternity is, so finding one will lead us to the other.
Or at least he's held by the same people as the Cup of Eternity.
Yeah,
so it's
we
kind of
we don't know for sure that they're in the same place. Though.
I mean, you probably don't get to be an all-powerful council of paranormals by, just stashing all your stuff in the same safety deposit box, but
Not
Putting
necess-
all of your MacGuffins in one location.
Not necessarily, no. But if we assume that any lead towards one will eventually lead us towards the other, we can approach that as a
Mhm.
singular item rather than 2 separate items.
Right.
and then we've got the Philosopher's Stone, which I think somebody said probably is a mage thing.
Yes.
It's mages.
Yep.
Is it worrying to anybody else that I literally don't know which of these is going to be worse to chase down and probably should be prioritized second.
No, that's absolutely normal.
I would say the Philosopher's Stone is going to be worse to chase down.
It could be. I mean, mostly because outside of Sparkly, we have people we can talk to, but we don't necessarily have a direction to take with that.
Also, anti-mage tactics are not guaranteed, unlike with other resources where silver or fire work.
Shouldn't we have the? I mean,
Oh, hey, you're here too.
he snuck in the back.
Okay.
Shouldn't we find the thing that we don't know where it is?
Technically, we don't know where either of them are.
Well, I mean, we have a little bit of lead on the other one because stuff's starting to notice that we're, doing our thing.
I would say, because people are starting to notice, that we take the lead that we have, get that, like, okay, how much time do we have before kaboom at this point?
Most of a year still.
Definitely
Still,
not.
right? Like,
Like you had to take several days and some time for a trip, but it's barely been
It's been like a month and a half. at
so
this
like,
point.
yeah,
and a
11
half.
months and 4 days or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, we
So,
have been burning through stuff really fast, which honestly has probably drawn more attention than less.
Let's say 10 months.
I'm okay with that. I would say, here's my argument. I would say that the Dark Council, or anyone who would call themselves that, is probably more likely to be adversarial to the idea of us acquiring said item, and thus more likely to move. So since we have a lead on it, we should move on it quickly, and then we have 11 months to try and find the other one, rather than take a month or two to try and find the other one. In that time, the stone and Jonas, or the cup and Jonas, have a month to be moved to somewhere where we'll never see it again.
Only problem is that our only lead there is that the Reaper will show us the way.
Better than nothing.
I mean, it's almost
Yeah.
nothing, though.
It's almost nothing. You're not wrong.
It's a name.
A name that that 1 out of every 5 hitmen operating in the world uses for themselves.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we know the Reapers at least, in Atlanta area or roughly thereabout, based on our intel from
Yes, and
Headless Charlie.
presumably supernatural, which means not necessarily likely to utilize the name Reaper in common parlance. Reaper
I mean, it's brute forcing it a little bit, but we can just go find every Reaper we can, and as long as they've done something unpleasant, we murder them.
again, though, the issue
We
there
go
is-
full Terminator.
I mean,
Terracotta.
Don't
they're called Reapers, so they're going to be having done terrible things regardless. But most of them are going to be human.
Yeah,
probably don't want to just murder him.
no, that's
We need to find out where
Hmm.
where the council is.
Well,
Obviously.
my concern is that with a name like Reaper, might not be a moniker. If you get my drift,
Could be a
Oh,
classification.
or the Grim one rather. Since we have already fought off a knuckle of E.
I mean, all right, this might be the Santa Claus paradox, but I feel like if there's a Grim Reaper, there's a whole battalion of them, because do you know how many people die every day?
Yes, you know how many people of them I kill without touching?
That's a separate discussion that I'll be happy to have later.
What I mean is that while the Grim Reaper might have forces underneath them, likely these concepts don't come into being from whole cloth, as it were.
Well,
Hmm.
you're
Okay.
not wrong.
And if it's
It sounds like we're probably talking to mages regardless of which direction we go.
fair,
Fuck.
you think our youth
Yep.
Thanatos might be able to offer some information on the Grim Reaper?
Maybe. Like,
Unless
maybe we just need to have a conversation with Death.
Colleen, you know anything about the Grim Reaper.
Or the Reaper.
Colin kind of. I mean, if we're to go by like common mythological parlance, a big scary skeleton man with a dark robe and a scythe that takes the souls of the fallen,
And a pale horse.
probably more something to do with the dead than with the mages.
Yes, but would the Thanatos know about them?
I mean, maybe that's sort of their field of study and forte, but I mean, any individual mage is about as likely to know anything about any other supernatural creature as any other mage.
I mean, so the reason I'm thinking a mage is, yes, if it's the actual dead, the only way, well, that's not true. Never mind.
I mean, I have his
have
hand
someone
mirror
who-
if it is the Grim Reaper. So
We have someone who has a direct connection to the dead.
Yes, I do. So it's not the sort of thing that I normally have conversations with, as it were.
Normally or capable of.
I can try.
I mean, I have the powers of the hand mirror, which is, the whole purpose is that it can call the dead to be.
Yes, but if the Grim Reaper is a construct of death rather than a ghost themselves per se, it wouldn't necessarily work, would it?
Not on them, but if you needed to ask a dead person a question.
Yeah. Because my only other idea is to go full flatliners, and you never want to go full flatliners.
Well, I look around. Are my ghosts around?
Not at the moment.
Well, if you
You're like, shit, we're being talked about in random.
well, do we have any specific spirits in mind?
Have y'all killed anyone particularly powerful who might be able to answer this? But, in
I feel like it
missions
would need.
before?
I feel like it would more need to be a spirit whose self-awareness is retained in some level.
And is potentially doesn't hold a grudge against us for killing them.
That too.
I mean, if we have a ghost, if we can just get a ghost present, I can figure out what the ghost knows.
Okay.
Yes, but having you
Because I inhale it and
Yeah,
then-
right.
having you eat a ghost is another option. Yes.
Right.
So the question, but that bears asking there, would you gain knowledge that they themselves are unaware they have? For instance, if it is a mindless ghost.
As I look up the details in the book, Nico hems and haws for a moment. Talk amongst yourselves.
Because while
I don't believe it specifies in the mechanics, and unless it does, I'm going to say that you would not be because what they know would be the entire sum of their life experience, which I feel is too much to learn just by inhaling a ghost. I feel like it would be the knowledge they have that is imprinted upon them as a ghost, basically. So
let me check and see if there's any specifics on the.
yes, because if you inhaling a ghost simply turns you into let's say a clown for 5 minutes, that's not necessarily something we want to go through.
Come on, book, open up.
No, I do like to imagine Nico eats a plumber and just starts fixing pipes.
Yeah, the hunter knows all there is to know about the ghost, at least as far as the ghost can remember. Whatever the ghost knows, the hunter now knows. So yeah, it looks like it would have to be their active knowledge that they are still in retention of.
So it would be more useful to talk to a ghost then in that particular case.
I mean, unless, yeah.
I mean, whatever the ghost knows, you now know. So talking to the ghost would get you the same result as eating it.
Assuming the ghost is willingly communicable.
Yeah.
So, do we have any ideas for people who are willingly communicable that we wouldn't mind Nico eating?
I think the better question is what ghost would know what we're looking for?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I can think of
I mean,
one.
you don't exactly hear every ghost talking about the Grim Reaper.
No, I can think of one, but I don't think he's available to us anymore.
Which one?
Father.
Point.
I don't want to eat your dad.
I feel like he would just tell us if he could,
I mean, he's been pretty helpful. Yeah.
but I feel like he's already passed on, so.
He's dispersed, yes. He gave us his last wisdom and then went.
I mean, good for him.
Do you know how utilizing the powers of the mirror work? Do you simply say a name, or does someone else say a name while looking at you?
I can call upon, as far as I understand it, it's fairly fresh. I'm still learning about it, but I can call upon the presence of a spirit or all spirits if I want to remake that ghost tornado. But I can call upon the presence of a spirit whose name I know or whose face I'm familiar with.
I mean, let's keep the ghost tornado in our back pocket just in case, but yeah, let's try to do one-offs for the immediate future.
Nico, how many ghosts can you eat at once?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
And then I have to make another dose and wait a couple days and then another one and then yeah, but you know, one at a
If
time.
we're going by volume, then you could just suck down a ghost tornado and
No, that would I
That'd
don't
probably be
know
bad.
what that would do, but
that'd
I
probably be
would-
bad.
I would probably die or I would be batting on a level almost with Colleen at that point and probably also no longer be me. So let's give that a pass.
Yeah,
You would
no.
probably explode.
That was going to be I felt like that was probably the more likely.
Yeah, we're not
What is
doing
it?
that.
Yep. What is cool.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
think.
No, it's that basic comic book thing of, oh, this guy eats X. Well, if you overload him, then he can't take it.
We could always go find some dead people.
I mean, those are easy to find.
The
Okay.
question is which one knows what you're
Nina
looking
pulls
for?
out her
Yeah.
pulls out her phone and starts googling some things.
What are you looking for?
Well, Jeremy is googling historical individuals associated with death.
Ah,
Because if it can literally be anybody
Whose ghost is still around, but yes.
whose ghost is still around, we may have to try multiple times if we have
Right,
to get a list
mhm.
of names.
Right.
I'll do.
So-
I'll actually pull out my phone as well and search for noted occultists who have recently passed.
Ooh, Crowley. I know. he's
Aleister
not
Crowley. I was about to
recently
say
passed.
Aleister Crowley.
Oh,
He'd be
boy.
the first choice.
So what Nina's saying is we have a rendezvous with death.
No. I know who
Oh,
our
okay.
first choice needs to be. Wait, what?
I'm just making poetry jokes. Ignore me.
Okay. Fucking Rasputin.
Oh fuck.
I believe.
How
You've
do we
died like
find the ghost of
17
Rasputin?
times.
I feel like this would require him to be dead.
I'm pretty sure
I
he's
mean-
dead.
I don't believe it.
They're like a whole song.
I hope he's dead.
Colleen focuses for a second. He's either not dead or doesn't have a ghost. One of
Okay.
those two.
I'm voting.
I'm gonna
not
guess
dead.
the latter
Definitely
for my
not dead.
sanity's sake.
I mean, or he just like I'm sure that mirror can do a shit ton, but if anybody could just be like, nah, I feel like it might be.
Was his mirror in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking up any local notable occultists that died recently. Because of all the people
roll
that
me
would, all the people-
intelligence and computers.
because of all the people that would open their fucking eyes and ears as soon as they died, it would be one of them.
I'm just gonna say Crowley, John D, Anton LaVey. Actually, I just want you to summon Anton LaVey anyways, because I got some words for him.
Hey, motherfucker.
Did you say intelligence and occult, William?
Intelligence
Gerald
and computers.
Gardner.
I mean, the first one already got a hit. I can sense Aleister Crowley. He's still hanging around.
Of course he is.
That prima donna.
That he can't
All
be
right, all right.
dramatic if he's actually dead.
All
I
right,
mean,
but
you know what I
but
mean,
here's
dead,
the
dead
thing,
for good
Nina.
guy.
Whoever's hanging around, is it worth putting up with the pretentiousness and the tiresomeness?
To prevent the end of the world.
Okay, fine.
You can just eat him and we won't have to, Nico.
I don't know if he'd go down well.
Are you worried about the taste of Aleister Crowley's ghost?
That's a
Wouldn't you
valid thing
be?
to be concerned about.
In a world where the sentence I eat Aleister Crowley's ghost is a possibility, yes, I would be concerned about the taste.
Couldn't we just get like somebody interesting like Oscar Wilde?
Do you really think Oscar Wilde knows that much about death in reality?
Or would have paid attention after he died.
Yeah.
Look, if you read the picture of Dorian Gray, I feel like there's some insightfulness to be had. But okay, no, Crowley is probably a safer bet. You're right. I'll figure it out.
So I got one success on my search.
There's probably a few names, but not anything of significance is what you can find right now.
Okay. But I'm not finding any better alternatives, so Crowley it is.
Okay.
Swear to God, if he's voiced by Mark Shepard, I'm gonna fucking.
Then we send him back very quickly because that's the wrong fucking Crowley. And nobody should be listening to anything he has to say.
Or everyone should be listening to everything he has to say.
No, because then somebody will make a deal.
Well, first off, he's voiced by me, so you're stuck with it.
Excellent. Much better.
No offense to William, but I think Mark Shepard would be the better voice to have if we could afford it.
No, but I just feel safer. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
I just want to hear
yes,
Mark Shepard talk in my ear. That's all I want.
I mean,
If we could hire Mark Shepard to fucking ad-lib Aleister Crowley for 5 minutes.
or his own Crowley, I'd be fine with that too.
Both, either. For those that are
Anyway.
unaware, Mark Shepard plays a character
Hell-
named Crowley in Supernatural. He has a very ridiculously good to listen to voice.
Let him fucking play Badger. I don't care.
Anyway, Colleen kind of, okay, one really old British occultist coming up.
So you're saying is Mark Shepard would fit?
He's gonna try to fuck every single one of us, by the way, just so you know.
Well, we'll point him at Nico first.
Whoa.
The horniest man in the history of the universe.
Including, you are including Rasputin in that number. So
I am absolutely including Rasputin in that. Rasputin did it because he had an agenda. Crowley did it because he just needed to get his fuck on.
Yes.
now I, John, feel like my title is being attacked and I need to defend it. None can be hornier than I.
I mean, Aleister Crowley.
We duel at dawn.
Got some bad news
With
for you.
sex?
Sure. Whatever weapons are at hand.
So sex.
Join us at dawn for necrophilia.
We've tangented again.
But as
You say
Colleen
that
I
as
wanted to
focuses,
get rid of our one viewer that was still hanging on.
You say that as if
after
we.
the torture
You say that as if we ever stopped.
But Colleen focuses for a moment, and as she does, the lights dim for a bit. What little light there is down here. And a wind picks up, and on it, flowing in from the outside of this underground facility, is a drifting stream of ashes that begins to circle around the outside of the group and slowly begins to circle in and tighten until the ashes coalesce and ignite in a bright blue-white flame. And from that flame comes the semi-shape of a humanoid figure. It's impossible to determine a real face per se, but the energy present is definitely someone who has accrued more power in their death than they ever had in their life.
Am I the only person that can see this, or can everyone see it?
Everyone can at this point. This is a phenomenon that is visible.
Well
You've
then.
Called Alistair Crowley. What can I do for you?
We have a few questions that we'd hoped you'd be able to answer. Willingly.
That depends on the question.
What do you know of agents of death, particularly any that claim the moniker of Reaper?
I know the agents of death quite familiarly, as you might imagine.
Are you saying, Mr. Crowley, that you talked with the dead?
I don't quite understand that reference.
No, you wouldn't.
I, the storyteller, do.
I'm really glad that John cut me off because I was about to go off on a full amount of jokes about the Aussie song. Do you have any questions for me? Yes. What went on in your head?
But we are hunting the Reaper and would like any information that you might be able to provide.
There is only one Reaper, as far as the domains of death are concerned. He is death incarnate, shall we say. He is not the all of death. People die just fine without his presence, but he is the personification thereof. Things wilt in his path. Decay follows him wherever he goes. Wherever you see a mysterious blight upon the world that disappears into nowhere, leading shortly to the death of someone important, he has been there.
I would like to do not insight. I know it's
Ghost sight.
empathy.
It's an empathy against the
I
flaming
want to
ghost.
see whether is this dude just bullshitting us, or is he confident in the things he knows, etc.
Roll me wits and
Basically, what
empathy.
Nina's trying to figure out
Let's
is,
try
does the
it
Grim
too.
Reaper really have standards?
I mean, it's Crowley. He very easily could just be talking shit, or
yeah,
think, or
right.
we'll spend a willpower on this.
Pretentious isn't a bug; it's a feature.
Right. Plus 3. 1.
It's hard to read a man when his entire expression is fire.
Well, just to be clarified, I want to note that Kayla Wynn rolled that particular what's an empathy roll.
Oh, you are
not
correct.
Nina
I had
Sky.
the wrong character sheet. I need to re-roll that.
Yes.
Is Nina's wits and empathy better?
I think so.
Nico roll
Yes,
2 just to
one
see.
better.
Okay.
And
Sheesh.
what do you know? I had wits and empathy already selected on this sheet.
Hey.
There
Awesome.
we go.
Nice.
There you
nice.
go.
With an exceptional success from both of you, this is someone who has learned far more in life than he did or far more in death than he knew in life. This is someone who is
Okay.
speaking from experience. You would not be surprised if this is a person who intentionally became a ghost because he wanted to learn more.
Well, fuck me.
What do you know of the...
Just the power and presence of this ghost is enough to say this person knows what he's talking about and is probably very high up as far as any ghost you will ever find.
high up in the ghost hierarchy.
As much as one can exist.
Do you know anything about the patterns or foibles of this Reaper? Something that one might use to better track them down or deal with them?
I say there is only one. There is only the one personification at any individual time. However, as the personification of death, he cannot be truly killed, nor can he truly be said to only exist in one place or follow traditional rules of travel. Where one personification dissembles, another emerges. Death must be, so is the Reaper. All are one, but
Who, if you might
So he's
know?
less an individual and more a manifestation?
there you go.
A manifestation
Huh.
of a constant. Who would be powerful enough to pull the strings of said Reaper?
It would take someone very powerful indeed. The Reaper is a fundamental force who comes when death must be grand. He comes before the events of the most historic deaths in the world. His fingerprints are on mass genocide, the death of tyrants, the murder of saints.
How does he feel about those who undermine death?
Likely poorly. I suspect that as his nature is the personification of the end, those who would defy the end become his enemies.
When they thus be dealt with appropriately?
Such is his way. If one would become too powerful in their defiance of death, then so would come the Reaper to bring them a suitably epic demise.
I look at the others and see if anyone else has any specific questions.
The manifestation, would you say it has personhood at all?
Insofar as something like this can. There is, in my dalliances with the creature, something of a persona to it. It is difficult to read and often silent, but, well, let's just say that Charles Dickens was not too far off.
This persona wearing a bullet-ridden trench coat and have the longest magnum in existence. That is a Persona 5 joke. That's fine. I'm the only one that gets it.
I got it. I wish you could get that persona, honestly, but you know.
Unfortunately, you can't.
Okay, so we're looking for the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, who also murders people. Well, attends murders of people.
I feel like
Oh,
influences the murder of people is the appropriate instrumentation.
Look, he already said I was on the right track. Go fuck yourself.
We don't have that technology
Sorry,
yet.
I don't. This is very new to me. So
But if you're looking to find him, his nearest trail is always in the wake of decay. Things rotting unnaturally. Things
Yes.
dead before their time.
Yes, but which K?
How does
All right.
one, if one is not of your
Persuasion?
of your current state of existence? Let's put it that way.
Incorporeality.
How does one chat up death?
Very carefully. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I haven't done it while I'm alive.
It's fair.
It's fine. We'll have a lovely chat.
Flip it around. If one were on your persuasion, how would one talk with said individual?
Forcefully and with conviction.
Okay, I'm not looking for an approach. I'm looking for how do you actually do it?
It is a personification. It can be communicated with. It understands. It hears.
Do you just call out, "Hey, Death, I'm in the neighborhood, hit me up"?
Texting death you
Here's
up.
my digit.
Scream into the night uncontrollably. Like, is there a particular method of contact?
Yes, that's what I'm saying is how do you actually
Do we get a Ouija board? What do we need to do?
do you just figure out where he is, go where he is, and
Wait for him to manifest.
approach
I
him?
assume?
That's been my method at the very least. But to be fair, I don't die if he touches me because I'm already dead.
Right.
All right. Monsters Incorporated rules. I get it.
I don't remember that rule being in Monsters Incorporated.
You need to watch more movies.
They weren't killing the children, they were scaring them. I'm confused.
There was a
now.
whole thing about don't let the kid touch you.
Oh.
Okay? Jesus.
We have tangents in character too.
I love how we're, oh my god, I love how we're, I love Nina's just sitting back and watching Nico and Zero get snippy about a Pixar film.
I can already sense that you've actually had quite the close encounter with him, though perhaps the sense that you had been seeking has led you on the wrong trail as far as that was concerned.
Are you talking about the Hawaii thing?
No, something something longer ago.
Man on fire?
It's an essence about some of you, not all of you.
Is it when a crazy priest stuck a shotgun in my fucking face?
When was that?
Before your time.
Yeah.
It was a time ago. It is old. A long rested scent of his essence nearby. But you've been somewhere where something was rotting, where there was a trail of decay.
Okay, well, we'll go back through the journals and figure out where that was and start looking around.
Which ones of us?
You, he says, looking at you, Astrid. And you, he says, looking at Nina.
Oh shit. Is this back? You know what I mean. When we're at my place.
All the dismembered bits and shit?
And
if anyone wants to jog their character's memory, they can roll intelligence and resolve.
Paul saw his kids and shit.
I thought that was just because of Nina. That was because of Colleen's nightmares.
Oh,
Doesn't
the
mean it's
owls
not
and things?
legit.
2 successes.
Nico rolled just in case somebody told him about it once.
So Astrid and Nina, you remember, you thought it was the knuckle of you at the time, but there was a trail of rot leading into the hedge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still got nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I
This
remember
was
this.
just
You picked the-
before a crazy priest stuck a shotgun in your face.
Okay, I have very vague memories about this. You picked the wrong people to have memories of
This
this.
was
I
in
think.
Astrid's townhouse complex, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. There was the
yeah.
hollow. It was covered
Mhm.
in blood and shit, and then just rot going into the hedge. Yep. Hmm.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, I do remember that
a
now
little.
because we were trying to figure out what sort of vampire would have that kind of magic. We thought it was a
Yeah.
vampire that was doing
We
it.
did think it was a vampire. Yeah.
Okay. Then Astrid will ask, is it in the hedge?
It goes what it likes. Death goes to all things that live.
I'd like to see that conversation. Hello, I'm here to reap your soul. What are you talking about? I'm an archfey.
I don't think it cares.
No, it doesn't, but I'd still love to see the conversation.
Well, cool. That gives us a starting point. I was thinking we'd have to hack some satellite imagery or something.
If satellites could track death, don't you think they'd already be doing so?
I mean,
Well,
for
who
like
says they
rot
aren't?
and shit.
I would argue that they almost certainly already are.
Or they're tracking life to deliver death. I feel like that's a difference.
Anyway, do we need to take up more of Mr. Crowley's time, or?
Oh, please, I love having an audience.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, that's kind of what's worrying me right about now.
I have no further questions.
So you said when you talk to him, you don't have to worry about it because you're dead, right?
Already beyond his reach, yes.
So he can't do anything to you,
No.
but he can certainly do stuff to us.
Oh, yes. I don't know that you can do anything to him, to be perfectly honest.
Good to know. Okay.
So
I'm
talking.
sure you could try if
talking
you felt
in-
like being violent with the personification of the end.
Talking and retreating at the same time, I feel, is the tactic.
Good to know. I'm done with this fucker.
Yeah,
Fair
I'm
enough.
done.
Oh, he looks over to Colleen. Lovely, darling, and you know how to reach me if you ever need my advice again. And he bows as much as a pillar of flame can bow. And Colleen kind of waves, and the flame disperses into ash and drifts out of sight.
Well, that was helpful and informative.
It was.
I like how the sound effects of the stream basically he walked out a squeaky door and then it slammed behind him.
Yeah.
Austin is providing sound effects.
Thanks for the Foley, Austin. You're great, bud.
So
So we have a lead now.
I'm gonna be honest. You know how I said you never go full flatliners? We might want to go full flatliners.
Are we talking 1990
Um,
flatliners or 2017 flatliners?
The good flatliners.
1990 flatliners it is.
Yes.
And before we risk permanent brain damage, why not just let me try to talk to him?
Because we don't know if he can. We don't know if he actually needs to touch you to kill you.
Also, we don't know where to find him yet either, so we kind of have to do that bit first, I
Yeah.
think, right?
Yeah.
We have a lead at least in that location, but
Well, yeah, but how long ago did you guys find Rot Band?
It's a little while ago.
Right before
mean-
you came into the picture.
Aw. I'm like a harbinger.
boy, it was a harbinger of you, really.
I had a harbinger.
And it was death.
Right? How badass does that make me look?
Death is
I
the
know,
harbinger of Nico.
Correlation, causation, not a thing, but still.
That's good.
I could arrange a facility where they would be able to resuscitate us after a certain period of time, but I have no idea how long it would give you before permanent damage occurs.
Okay.
Sounds very dangerous.
It is the concept
Wait.
here is that
Yes.
we will die, become ghosts, and then be medically revived after a certain set period of time. So yes, it's very
It's-
dangerous.
It's literally the definition of danger. We are dying.
Yes.
On the other hand, is that more dangerous than corporeally having to try to have a conversation with the anthropomorphic personification of death, who I am unfortunately believing after that conversation is not a woman in her young 20s wearing a tank top
With an
and
Ankh
a-
tattoo and
Well,
or
that would be a
Ivor's
fine
tattoo.
conversation.
theoretically, they could be. They just are
Yeah.
also a giant shroud of blackness that will eat
William,
your
what does
soul.
Nico need to roll to pick up on something that the Ascending Ones can make that he might have heard of at some point?
Intelligence occult, add your status.
Okay.
It's not really the look that's the concern, it's the attitude.
There.
We want Game and Death's attitude.
The reason why I was suggesting myself to talk is because ghosts do have a bit of a more benign sense towards me, and if the rules of ghosts might even tangentially apply to the Reaper, that would give us some sort of advantage without having to kill one of us. But
You can certainly try.
this-
Like I'm not averse to that idea. I'm simply
Didn't
I know it sounds weird, but death is the potentially more reversible option if things go bad.
certainly, I understand the point you're making.
Okay, but I could also go talk to Amalia and see about Incense of the Next World.
Which does what?
Yeah. Like I have no idea. He said something that was a thing, so I assume. Yeah.
So there's this thing called Twilight, which is where ghosts and spirits hang out, and with the correct substances and enough mental focus and that sort of thing, I can basically astral project there as the closest equivalent you can get to being a ghost while you're still have a living body.
that would just be you though. Unless
Well, yeah,
that
but if all we
works
need
on
to do
all
is
of
have a
us?
converse, no, it would
Oh,
poison
got-
you to pieces and
okay.
you would melt. Yeah.
We have a couple of different avenues we could pursue in that case, but first we do need to locate the Reaper, or at least the last known location thereof.
Correct.
Which book is that in?
That is in Hunter the Vigil on page 177. Well, 176, 177.
Don't we
The
maybe
actual listed page is 176, 177. I think it's like 178 by the PDF.
Yeah, Incense of the Next World. Cool.
Yes, Thomas.
don't this Reaper guy works for the Dark Council, right? So
Well, the
we
Reaper
like-
the Reaper will lead us to the Dark Council. We don't necessarily know that they work for them explicitly.
yeah,
I
lead-
really hope they haven't subjugated actual death.
Yes, if they've subjugated actual death, then I feel like our chances of dealing with them is nil at that point.
fair. Don't lead to. Do we really need to even talk to this?
I
guy,
believe the
or just,
vampire
like,
did imply
follow?
in his description that the Reaper is their killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but that's not explicitly proof that they control it.
They could just be figuring out some way to point him.
Yeah, they could be pointing it. They could be
Like a hippo.
Yeah, like a hippo. They could be pointing it.
Biological guillotine.
Yes.
Yes.
They could be
It all comes full circle.
the options.
Exactly.
The options are the Dark Council controls death, at which point our chances of success drop dramatically. The Dark Council simply has ways of maneuvering death at their will, at which point our chances of success drop, but not as dramatically. Or the vampire was lying and the Council of Darkness doesn't control death at all, at which point our chances of success remain where they are.
Or death is on the council?
Or, well, that would fall under the first option.
I mean, kind of subheading, but yeah.
Yes.
That's the worst option.
Yes, either that,
Yeah.
either is on or is controlled by, both of which are bad options.
Now, if death is controlling, or I mean, the council's controlling death, and we can figure out how to stop that, our manifestation might either be grateful to us or
That is
really pissed
true.
off at them. And that could turn things
Either-
That's pretty
slightly
good.
to our
Either of those is
advantage.
a win for us.
What if they're controlling?
Kinda, yeah, right?
What if they're controlling it through use of the Cup of Eternal Life, which I will remind you has the words eternal life associated with it?
I mean, eternity and eternal life are two very different things.
Yes, but I feel like death would have problems eliminating eternal life.
We won't know until we won't know until we talk with death.
Yes, but it's good to have a clear picture of all the potential outcomes. Or at least as many of them as we can find.
So what you're saying is, okay, yeah, they control death, and then we free death, and he goes after them, and they're like, "Ha! You've activated my trap card."
Basically, death can't
Okay.
actually do anything about it, or they're controlling death by means of the item we need to retrieve.
Either
Okay.
way, if the shadowy evil council of death, or if the shadowy evil council of supernatural bad guys is controlling death, we should probably stop that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm with Nina on that one.
Well, it's-
There's a third option for actually making contact, and I doubt you're gonna like it, but it's a thing.
We had 3 options already. This would make 4.
Well,
I feel like this is going to be something involving her.
less me specifically. I mean, I could theoretically if I tried and knew what I was doing, but I really don't, so I don't want to run that risk. But astral projection is a thing that mages do.
Yes, so
So-
we would have a mage communicate with death for us.
Or have a mage project your soul for you.
That I'm less trustworthy on. No offense, but somebody else puppeteering my soul, not a fan.
No, it's someone else pushing your soul out.
It's not better.
I am approximately 3 billion% on board with that idea.
I'm willing to go with that idea.
So we all get mage smacked in the face, trot around on the astral.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
remember
Twilight
that one
playing
scene?
for-
You guys remember that one
Strange.
scene in Endgame with the Hulk?
Yeah, it's astral projection.
Just forcible, sort of.
I mean, it was forcible then, too.
Proxy, sort of.
I probably could do it, but I've never done it before, and I don't want to fuck it up.
Let's not do it. Let's not have a first timer astral project a lot of us.
Yeah, it seems kind of like.
Oh,
manic.
but then imagine. Sorry, I love the trope of everybody gets knocked out of their bodies and then accidentally comes back to the wrong
Yes!
ones.
Never mind.
And
Let's do it.
Yes,
Let's
could
do
would
we-
be
this shit.
hilarious,
I will,
albeit horrifying.
I will firmly sit that out.
we know you like your body.
I also like my body being inhabited by my soul.
That's what I was getting at. The you inside your body likes your body that you're inside of.
I mean,
Yes.
to be fair, we would need somebody to stay there with whatever mage it is, so that when we are inevitably betrayed,
You have
the
somebody
silver
to
cord is
stab
cut,
them.
you can
Right.
you can shoot them in
That's
the
fair.
head a lot.
Or stab, but yes, I will gladly volunteer for that position.
You must shoot them at least once for me.
I will shoot them with your gun at least once for you.
Thank you.
That way it's like you shooting them. If you'd like, I'll use your hand.
Yes, because I'll be dead.
Like, stab, 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 dead? Okay, drag the corpse over, put the gun in the hand,
Right.
point it at the head, pull the trigger.
Please frame my dead body for murder.
Would you like it to be a murder-suicide?
No,
Would you like it to be a mass murder?
no,
Okay, just the one.
just the
No,
one.
we literally want to make it look like this person who was obviously dead before somehow shot this person in the head
Yes.
as well.
So the man came in here to eat some pie.
Does anyone have any ideas on who we should contact to do this?
Yes.
I mean, I know who to do it on my end if I'm doing my incense thing, but
Colleen, what kind of magey types are we going to want to talk to about astral projection?
I mean, kind of already spoke to one. I mean, Jack could probably do it. It's kind of his forte, but other than that, the rock star probably could.
So Jack, Pumpkin Jack, or Shawnee Dragonheart.
I feel like Nina's going to trust a rock star before she trusts a mortician.
Would she? Nina is a rock
Are you
star.
fucking kidding me? I'm a rock star. I know how unreliable we are.
Okay, that's fair too.
That said, I do prefer the idea of spreading out our favors among.
We have already cashed in one favor with Shawnee, haven't we?
Yeah, that's a vague favor.
And she did catch us with all that cocaine, so you know.
I don't think she believed it was cocaine, Nico.
Damn it.
Let's just say most individuals in the entertainment have a nose for that sort of thing.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I would actually. I feel like Jack is actually probably the better idea, because Jack is also fairly knowledgeable about death, as I understand it.
That was the
Potentially.
vibe. That was the vibe he was giving off. Yes.
So if we're gonna astral project, so we can go talk to Death, maybe the astral projecting Death Mage over the astral projecting sex, drugs, and rock and roll mage. That's my only.
Also, I'm slightly more familiar with Pumpkin Jack's build, and thus can have a better does have a better chance of successfully decapitating him in one swing if needed.
Yeah.
I'll go with whoever people are comfortable with.
First,
Oh, well,
either
if
way,
comfort comes into it, I'm going to probably spend the next 8 months in, say, Portland.
Therapy
Jeez, therapy doesn't
In
work for the likes of
Portland?
us.
in Portland.
First, we need to track down a location. Simply turning you all into ghosts and then having you wander around the city going, "Hey, Death, come here. Let's have a chat." Doesn't sound like a particularly smart plan.
Okay, well, that brings up an important point that we need to figure out. Because, you know, I'm a bit of an occultist, and I've done my reading on astral projection. And when you astral project, you don't necessarily go you're not just necessarily outside of your body. You could go to an entirely different realm. So
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of different layers of reality that you can project yourself to. From what I'm gathering, though, if someone like Crowley is able to communicate with them, we're probably going to want to be either in this realm or in Twilight.
Well, should we go do a Meiji consultation and see if Jack has any expert advice to kind of
Go.
point us in the right direction?
Sure.
Go then.
Back to a funeral home or mortician's office, I guess.
I will text him to let him know we're coming.
But with that, we'll go ahead and take our break.
All right, if you're watching on Twitch, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And also remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, grab a drink, grab fruit, whatever it is you need to do. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. Don't forget,
Asshole.
don't forget your 3 square meals of the day, folks.
Absolute worst.
Or the best, depending on your perspective, really.
Or the best, one of the two.
But when last we left off, you were going to meet Pumpkin Jack.
Yeah, out in the pumpkin patch, where he's currently mourning over the fact that he doesn't have any ideas for Halloween. And planning to invade Christmas.
Speaking of, it's like mid-early December right now.
Oh God.
But you arrive at the mortician's office. You are let in and very quickly shown back to Jack's office.
As we're walking in, Zero's just muttering under his breath, "There are few who deny it. What I do, I am the best."
Jack, buddy, pal, our favorite mortician.
Who we last saw so long, like 3 hours ago.
It's only been 3 hours.
It's been
Our sense
a
of
little bit
our
longer than
sense
that.
of time is fucked.
Yep.
But yeah, we just finished that job last night. What's up?
So,
We have a rendezvous with death.
You think that we asked you to do something weird last night? Hold on.
My beer.
I could
My
not stop
beer.
for death, so death kindly stopped for me, huh?
That was the pre-show before our WrestleMania of weird ass things.
Did
so-
you know you can sing that poem to the Gilligan's Island tune? It's
Yes.
great.
Yes, you can.
So,
Most of Emily Dickinson's stuff.
in the course of our investigations, it has become painfully aware to us that we need to have a conversation with an entity known as the Reaper, or Death Incarnate, whom I'm sure you are aware of the existence of, considering your specialization.
I've had an encounter, very close encounters with the personification of the end a few times, yes. And you're looking to converse with it?
Apparently, this Reaper will be able to direct us in some manner towards the encampment of a council of dark creatures that rules over the monsters currently rampaging through Atlanta. So we need to talk to it to get to them.
Right, all right.
And
you're asked-
Nico's watching him to see if that raises any bells or he's gotten jumpy or squirrely at all from that.
roll wits and empathy.
Spending a willpower.
Sure.
I like how,
Five successes.
as we've progressed in this campaign, we've gone from keep all the secrets to fuck it, tell them everything. See how they
Basically,
react.
apparently.
His reaction is interesting because it's not like a sudden panic or squirreliness, and it's not like a I knew this was happening and I was just waiting for you to ask me about it. It was more of like a there's this faint raise of the eyebrow that's like taking in new information that is very quickly subsumed into the analysis, and you get this sense of a suspicion confirmed rather than something he knew ahead of time.
Kind of a, oh, okay. Well, I guess that tracks.
Now these other things that I had been looking into make more sense.
Something like that.
And thus, in order to commune with death, we require the services of one who can forcefully shove a soul out of a body temporarily.
Right, because you would rather not encounter death physically and thus die.
Yes.
Yep.
And we realize we're punching a bit above our weight class in this, but if you would be willing to assist, we'd appreciate it.
Well, the end of the world sounds bad because I live here.
It is where we keep all of our stuff, yes.
And to sweeten the deal, and Nico slides him a $15 Starbucks gift card.
He just kind of looks at it for a minute, and you see like the most comedic arch of the eyebrow, and then just in this very swift motion, hand goes up, slams down on the card, slides it over. I'll take it.
They've got pumpkin spice lattes right now.
That's the first time you've seen someone in this position, and particularly a mortician of all people, let alone a mage, to go run with the bit.
Nico just makes friends.
Should absolutely to appeal to people who are interested in exploring the concept of death.
I mean, his name is Pumpkin Jack. Of all people to run with the bit, obviously it was going to be him.
He took that name himself. Come on.
Astrid's just surprised that it wasn't like a pack of drugs, because that's Nico's thing.
Yeah.
They were duct taped to the underside.
Oh, white powder.
If you lick the back of it, he dipped it in LSD.
There you go.
But yes, would you be able to assist us in this endeavor?
I probably could. But I'm not the spontaneous kind of mage. You may have noticed, everything I do requires a good amount of ritual setup.
So what? 10 minutes? I'm kidding. How long though?
Tell you what. Come back. Give me 2 weeks.
Okay.
I've got a lot of materials that I've got to find.
Seems fair enough.
And I have to build a coffin for each of you. I'm going to need your measurements.
Just those 4.
Okay.
I'm sorry, coffin?
Like I said, I'm not the spontaneous kind of mage.
I feel like Nina might already have one.
This is going to sound weird. But does it have to be a coffin that you have specifically made with specific things?
Yes, I have to build each of you a special coffin.
All right. I have my coffin measurements.
Cool.
I don't suppose you'd believe I was a 3624's 36, would you?
With that figure, maybe, but
nah.
No, Nico's more of a 36-24-20.
Sometimes you have to do a photo shoot for an album, and then you ask, hey, can I keep the coffin? And they say, what the fuck? Why not? We're not going to use it for anything else.
I mean, you're all welcome to use these coffins whenever you eventually expire, if you like, because they're going to have to be tuned to each of you individually anyway.
Well, so we know that they'll work well for pushing our souls out temporarily. Would we expect anything odd in the case of a more long-term occupation?
If you were going to die, you probably wouldn't. It wouldn't be a pleasant experience being permanently ejected out of your body.
Okay. Good to know.
The process of astral projection by itself is strange, surreal, mysterious, but not painful. the process of soul sundering, from what I've heard, is excruciating.
What sunders souls, might we ask?
Horcruxes.
The scythe that you're trying not to get hit with.
So be careful when talking to death.
Oh, when your souls are already gone, that's less of a problem. No, don't let him, sever your tether, because then you hit it all at once.
So what you're saying is astrally projecting isn't necessarily the safest of the options.
Well, then he has to put an active effort into killing you versus just killing you by being around and or touching you.
Better.
More steps involved at the very least.
Thomas has gone very pale.
Is there anything that we can do to assist you in your preparations, or will it simply take the 2 weeks?
It's going to take 2 weeks. I've got to build a coffin for each of you individually, tune them to your spiritual essence, and set them up in a ritual formation with a lot of other ingredients involved.
Cool.
Well then.
We'll give you a call in a few and pin down exact appointment times, I guess.
But whatever you got to do for the next 2 weeks, get your affairs in order, he says, laughing.
This man has a very reassuring manner. I appreciate him.
So then, unless anyone else has any further questions, we'll leave you to it.
Where am I going to find mahogany?
I have a dealer. I say, handing him a card.
Excellent.
Just tell them I sent you.
You tell your mahogany dealer your real name? Jesus, balls on you.
No, the name that's on the card.
Oh, okay. See, that makes more sense.
It says he flips the card over. There's another name.
Quickly and efficiently exit.
I'll be certain to watch over all of your bodies while you're entombed in your coffins.
Appreciate it.
Good to know.
Jack,
You're muted, Jack.
I've probably slept in worse places.
Well, I've definitely slept in worse places, just not while a mage had his hands on my soul.
Just
That's a good
wish we
point.
didn't have to be in coffins.
They're actually pretty
I wonder if-
comfortable.
I'm claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah. They will be far less comfortable. Sorry.
Maybe we can leave the lid open for you.
Or if not, I can probably, if you want, I can whip you up something to help with that, at least temporarily.
No, thank you. I'm going to have enough going on with my body.
No, that's okay.
You're high when you enter the coffin. Are you high when you astrally project? And does
See, that
make
was
it
going to be my
worse?
concern. Maybe of like what the effects of mind-altering drugs would be when you astrally project might be a
It's gonna
concern.
be a weird trip.
Well, that's the thing, because he keeps talking about souls, which I'm not entirely sure if, because drugs generally are a biochemical thing. So you might be perfectly sober once you're out of the body,
I mean,
because
are they
then
though?
your essence is no longer exposed to the meat.
Are they a biochemical thing though?
That's why I said generally. That's why I said generally. There.
And you ever
there
been
are
stoned so hard it affected your
certainly-
pattern?
You've been so
I'm
fucking
just saying-
spiritual aspects to, you know.
Have you ever been so fucking blitzed your avatar had a hangover?
Says the cultivator.
Thomas, you have a question.
Every day.
I want to maybe figure out what's up with my soul before I send it off on its lonesome.
That would be interesting
Fair.
if you astrally projected, but we're still in there.
What?
It would be interesting if you astrally projected, but you were still in there, as they pointing at your body.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh shit! Like he only pops out one half of what Thomas is right now, and the other half is
there's
still.
And then we have to deal with asshole version of Thomas.
We don't know that this is an asshole version of Thomas.
Yeah, that's
I
the
was
question.
being nice.
Which version is asshole version of Thomas is the real question.
I mean,
I was
we
I
all
was
have
being nice
asshole
too.
versions.
If this is as bad as Thomas gets, I mean that's pretty nice, right?
Well, no, what
She's
I'm
gonna
saying
walk
is-
over and give Thomas a hug as this conversation is happening.
what I'm saying is each of us is part asshole and part not. Now, how much is asshole and how much isn't varies from person to person. So what if the part of is we just get asshole Thomas?
Oh,
Which,
we get like the
To
distilled
be
version.
fair, is
Pure
like
version.
20% of current
I was gonna
Thomas
say it's.
at work.
I was good. Yeah, like 80-20, 85-15 maybe.
Right.
Let me get this right. You're concerned that if we astrally project, you might get Thomas's distilled asshole.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
They got me.
Good God, John, you chaos goblin. I like how proud you are too.
It was great.
John and I suffer from this thing where we're our own biggest comedy fans.
I only make jokes to make me laugh. If everyone else laughs,
Right.
it's a bonus.
So, what do we want to do for the next 2 weeks?
Date night.
Track down
What'd you say?
death.
Aw.
No, I didn't hear that. What did Nico say?
Nico said date night.
For 2 weeks?
8 weeks.
It's called
I mean,
You'll
night is a
Relative derb.
yeah.
We'll have to back up that claim of stamina, Nico.
Sure.
I feel like
I gotta apparently go to go do some hiking
Oh yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Hike where?
Mountain trails, I think is what she said. Yeah.
She who? Did I miss something?
Shawnee.
Oh,
this was when you
It's
were claiming we were carrying cocaine.
That
we were
yeah.
carrying cocaine.
Right.
Not in the body bag, but we were carrying it.
I feel like you're always carrying cocaine.
Astrid's the only one here who gets me.
I just point at Nina.
To be fair, I'm not always carrying cocaine, but I understand and I get it.
And then
Especially in the job we do.
do you want to try and do anything about like asking about the philosopher's stone? That was the other one.
Yes, we should do some research and investigation on that as well.
Definitely ask
Probably
around.
Good move.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
That doesn't sound like us.
I know.
It's okay. We'll avoid the plan for the next 2 weeks anyways.
I'm going to assume, by the way, that you waited long enough for Jack to get your measurements.
Yes.
Yes.
I just send mine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could just try and relax instead.
We tried that once. It didn't work.
You guys are awful at that, Colleen says.
I know, that's why I suggested it.
To be fair, we didn't really try last time.
I feel like we did, and that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Well, I can think of like 3 different fun things to do. So if any of y'all can find dates, maybe we'll let you come along.
Okay.
You to stretch those 3 fun things that you can think of for over 14 days.
Well, we've got other things to do as well, like research and a
Investigation.
little, yeah, and
Hunting down death.
some other stuff that I might need to cook up. I don't know.
Well, let's return to the hideout and start going through the books. See what we can find about this Philosopher's Stone. Because if anyone would know anything about it, I have a feeling Colleen's dear departed father will have a book on it.
Here.
Let's go take a peek.
To the hideout!
There are probably
That
more
transition.
books in that hideout than you could feasibly read in your lifetime.
Does he use the Dewey Decimal System?
No.
Is there a card catalog?
I'll start on one bookshelf.
It is arranged by authorial date.
Start with the oldest books.
No. You start with first recorded record in academia of the Philosopher's Stone, and you pick that as a beginning point, and you start working your way out from there.
You do that. I'll start with the
Yeah.
oldest books. Someone else can start with the newest books. We'll meet in the middle.
The books are organized by authorial date, then by alphabetical.
Cool. Nico's going to spend 2 hours looking through books before he thinks to go to Colleen and say, hey, do you have any like researching spells that you know?
Astrid's just gonna check the internet.
Roll me intelligence and computers, Astrid.
I'm reading from the oldest books up.
Roll me intelligence and research. 0. You ask Colleen. Colleen, I can give you my speed reading ability if you want for a little bit.
Oh, yes.
There's no such thing as research, intelligence, and
It's usually academics.
academics.
Academics,
Yeah.
that's it.
I was gonna say Thomas might actually do that.
Can I spend a willpower on this?
Yes.
I'm spending a willpower.
With
too.
5 successes, she kind of reaches a hand out and taps both of your temples, and you feel that hypersonic ability to read that she has.
Awesome.
That'll last you for a day.
1 success.
One success.
Fantastic. Am I doing intelligence academics as well?
Yes, with a +5 modifier.
Hell yeah.
I am
And a
also
willpower.
Actually, I'm going to also computer.
Let's all go to the library. Let's all.
Should
go
have
to the
mentioned this last time.
library.
I have a specialization in computers of internet.
Hey.
Ooh.
That will apply here if you're
And I
using the
will
internet
also
to try and
spend
find this info.
I will also spend willpower.
3 successes for Nico. There you go.
Gee.
5 successes.
So between the lot of you, you eventually manage to dig up some basic information on the Philosopher's Stone and sort of track down earliest known records of it, and narrow your search down through Alexander's books within that reach. And the as you very quickly realize, nothing you'll find on the internet will cover the actual Philosopher's Stone. But you can use what you find on the internet to help narrow down your search reach within the library. So using that together, the group of you are eventually able to locate a tome that has no title, but Upon opening it, appears to be a sort of mage's scientific journal.
Nice.
That is sort of theorizing and expounding upon the possibility of the creation of something that he puts forward as a lapis philosophorum.
Arcanist's
idea of a-
Almanac, Year 1.
The idea of a gem that serves as a conduit to separate paradox. Something that allows one to, rather than suffering paradox themselves, inflict it elsewhere and avoid having to take the consequences directly. It has a limitation as far as he's concerned, because it's it limits itself to things within the realm of what you could build this thing for. It would be sort of the idea that it could solve a particular style of magic, but it couldn't let you do literally anything. What it could let you do is achieve more by offloading paradox to an upper limit.
That's what
Essentially,
Colleen-
like a very, very discount version of what Colleen can do.
that's what
So
Colleen-
is it like basically the concept of I don't get the paradox, but the paradox balances out somewhere else in reality on somebody else? Or that it just kind of skims off the top and lessens the amount of innate paradox you would have suffered to a lower degree?
More the second one.
Okay. Because the first one's real fucky.
the first one's what Colleen does.
No, it's not. But you like that joke.
It's fun. Do we have any
Alright.
idea as to like when it was built or what it was built to do?
It dates back to ancient Greece.
So he defined. Wait, dates back to ancient Greece.
I mean, it explains like probably 60% of the stuff in the Odyssey.
He defined Hermes Trismegistus. However you pronounce his
What?
last name.
Who's Megistus?
That one.
God bless you.
Hermes was an ancient philosopher in Greek times.
All right. Named after the god, I suppose.
Yes, and also the Egyptian god Thoth.
Oh, hey. I've got his whispers.
The caduceus used in medical fields was apparently his staff, so symbological and all.
Okay.
So we what needed to talk to another
Is so
ghost?
he's the guy who made this philosopher's stone thing?
Not necessarily. That's simply the most occult-oriented philosopher I could think of for the time period this was created in.
Oh.
And
He's
the-
kind of the founder of the whole idea of Hermeticism.
Yeah, that social thing where you go hide out in a cave by yourself forever.
No, that's Hermitage.
That's Stoicism.
No, that's asceticism.
There's a lot of
No,
isms.
Hermit was a frog.
That's Kermit.
No, that was one of Theodore Roosevelt's boys.
Why is this a meme?
Anyways.
But no, yeah, the idea of something being hermetically sealed dates back to Hermes Trismegistus.
Yes.
Hmm.
Which, if you're talking about something built in ancient Greece, Hermes is the first person I think of, at the very least.
Nico flips to the back of the book and sees to see if whoever journaled this signed their name.
No,
Okay.
it's also a translation because it's in English.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, well, that's convenient.
We know,
Okay.
as we look into cults that claim heritage with Hermeticism.
Now,
Any
are we
sort of
operating
orders
under
that might
the
be
assumption?
related to that?
Are we operating under the assumption? Because I feel like there was a definite article of the Lapis Philosophorum rather than a Lapis Philosophorum. Are we assuming only one of these has ever been managed to be constructed? /
Or-
manifested / whatever?
I would assume.
Or still exists,
All right.
right?
Oh, because like I don't want to get this one and feed it to Colleen and then find out 3 weeks later somebody else just finished another one and now we have to go charge off after that. And
I would assume.
So the idea that is being laid out by this book is that it's a theoretical possibility, and that he can't figure out any particular way that it could actually exist, and if one does exist, there would likely only ever be one to exist, because that kind of ability is not something that would exist well with itself.
William,
gotcha.
did when at some point there was a rundown of kinds of mages, was the Order of Hermes referenced in that?
Yes.
Colleen, will this be potentially something that's, say, the members of the Order of Hermes might have in their possession?
I don't know about possession, but I mean, it's in the name. They might have some kind of connection to it.
Are there any of those in the city?
I don't know.
And I'm guessing whichever group or individual has this, A, obviously will be very loath to give it up. And B, is probably not necessarily trying to flash around and advertise that they have it because, competition's a thing.
Right on both counts, probably.
Investigate any potential leads to Hermetic mages in the city. See if that turns up anything relevant or interesting. Potentially, in the act of investigating them, we might find clues as to whether or not any of them have it or have been behaving odd lately. Well, odd relative to being mages.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where you accomplish more than would be considered likely at your standing or capacity.
I mean, that is also, of course, like assuming that Hermes Trismegistus is the one who actually made the Lapis Philosophorum. That's just kind of a hunch that we've gone off of by the fact that it was somewhere in ancient Greece.
Yes, but
are there other Magocratic traditions that date back to that time / region?
I mean, not by name. So, I mean, there's that. I mean, well, the Sons of Ether. Ether is kind of a Greek term, but I mean,
it's at least a place to start. It's not necessarily where we'll finish.
Right. Oh, yeah, no. You got to jump into the pool at one point.
Following hunches is really all we have at the moment until we learn more.
Sanctuary.
Right.
Are you running from something, Nico?
No, he said hunch. That made me think Quasimodo, and I just kind of took it from there.
You have some weird connections in your brain sometimes.
Though maybe whoever has this is running from something, and they did a desperate attempt last ditch. I'm just.
I feel like
now.
if
Let's see what we can find.
Yes, I feel like if you have a magic stone that makes your magical power more powerful, you're not running from very much.
Well, magical power less dangerous to yourself.
Thus more powerful. less inherent risk to yourself means more power, generally speaking. For instance, in a situation where one is entering a room filled with radiation, the man with a radiation suit is king.
Or a target.
Well, yes. Both things can be true simultaneously. In fact, often are.
We're about to have a very, very, very good time. Radiation is a street name for a couple different things.
Well, Sounds like our next 2 weeks will be full of investigation and other things.
I'm going to see if Astrid wants to go to a fight ring.
Absolutely.
She's right here. You could just ask her.
Yeah, she's sitting next to you.
That was a question for the storyteller, I feel.
Yep.
I know. But I like responding to out-of-character remarks in character.
Right. So I'm assuming, given Nico's contacts in the Russian mafia in Atlanta, he knows of at least 2 underground unlicensed fight clubs.
Oh, absolutely. You looking for like lethal fight clubs or just like bare knuckle boxing?
More bare knuckle boxing to start with. He doesn't necessarily want to implicate Astrid in murders just between people. We want to implicate Astrid in murders that have monsters involved.
Yeah, you can find a backstreet boxing fight club that is connected to the mafia.
Yep. So I know some people, and some of those people like to pay other people to beat the shit out of each other so that they can bet money on those people. And sometimes it's fun to watch, and I thought you might be interested.
I would absolutely be interested.
Cool. I'm going to go call some very unpleasant individuals and figure out what the schedule is.
Have fun.
We will.
You make some phone calls.
Yep.
Some people with very heavy Russian accents that I don't feel confident in my interpretation of.
So, Nico, you're saying that you're wanting to take your lovely lady friend to a boxing ring.
Yeah. So,
Pretty much, Sergey.
That's what we can do, but it will cost you. Unlike last time, this time I expect payment.
I can pay you in drugs, my good sir.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Good to know.
good enough. That's how that interaction went.
Sergey is too involved or nuanced of a Russian name for that accent. It really needs to be Boris.
Boris or
Boris
Ivan, one of the two.
I'm invincible.
No, his given name is Boris. We call him Sergey during professional engagements.
Fair.
Only
We
my,
call everybody Sergey during professional engagements.
only my mother calls me Boris. You call me Sergey.
Cool. Well, whatever night that happens, that happens.
How does a Friday hit you?
Sure.
I'm glad you just ran with that.
All right, we've got 2 tickets for the fight on Friday. Stop by the airport, then take a bus 3 blocks south. You'll find a warehouse. Enter through the back. Tell them your name is Jakob, and they'll let you in.
Shalom.
You know what? I'll go with it. When my player gives me a good idea, I'll take it.
It'll be a little dirty. Be sure to wear galoshes.
So that's date night number 1. We go to a warehouse and watch some guys beat the shit out of each other.
Some guy named Ivan is going to murder someone else.
Named Boris?
No, Ivan.
No, probably. Oh, okay.
No, Ivan's going to murder someone named Ivan?
No,
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
both fighters are named Ivan.
Ivan v. Ivan. It's the
I mean,
Ivanov. It's the
there
Ivanov.
are no other Russian names, so that makes sense to me.
In this corner, we have Ivan the White. In this corner, we have Ivan the slightly more white.
Yes!
And they will meet in the middle and exchange fists to each other's faces for your amusement. Cheer for them! AK-47s firing into the air.
I made a Rocky
Vodka
reference.
randomly
No.
splashing around for no reason and with no source.
Yeah.
It's not coming from specific balls.
she's just-
It's just
It's
vodka.
just there, yeah. No, I understood the Ivan Drago reference, William. It's just, you can take it in two different directions.
Anyway. Anyone else have anything they need to accomplish over the next 2 weeks?
Researching all the shit I said I was going to research.
Yeah.
And also attending some weird underground fight club on Friday where I can beat the shit out of a guy named Ivan.
Wait a minute, is that? Nah, it couldn't be.
Thomas is going to actually attempt the forest hiking plan.
It's the Rocky v the Rocky v Ivan fight, except he just doesn't instead of just refusing to go down, he just keeps not feeling it.
It's cute that you think you're trying.
Not even committing to the accent.
No, that was Zero.
I know, but look, if he's gonna go do it, I feel like he needs to commit to the accent.
But you're going up hiking. Are you looking for Shawnee?
Yeah. Mhm.
Roll me wits and survival.
Okay. Can I spend some willpower on this?
Yep, absolutely.
Sweet. I got one.
You're able to find where they're camping.
Okay.
But it's
Hey, I brought trail mix.
it's her and the rest of her band, which is probably about 5 people, all just sort of sitting around, riffing off of each other, playing music, with like a handful of fans, few dozen strong, and getting a stage set up for the actual show that'll be taking place up here. And yeah, you sort of you walk up, Shawnee recognizes you. Hey, party kid.
Hey. This seems pretty cool.
Welcome to the show prep. We're gonna be setting up the stage. Shows will be going on the next week or so.
One of the band members is off to one side going ding 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 ding.
I'm 1,000% there, just chilling. Like already there.
Had been there the entire time.
Yep.
Cool. I help set up or anything?
The lead guitarist of the band is trying to see what you think of the riff that he's composing right now. But yeah, so can I help you with anything? You looking for anything, Johnny asks?
Yeah, it's, taking your advice from the whole.
Oh, just trying to relax a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you want my help with anything, let me know.
Cool, because we're gonna sort of like astrally project and go find death and
Oh, that's a
then
fun time.
find the Philosopher's Stone and just sort of like save the world. It's good.
You don't hold anything back, do you?
No, not usually.
You would think in the world that you live in, secrets would be important.
Yeah.
At the beginning of season 1, we didn't even tell each other our names. At the end of season 2, we're like, fuck it, who gives a shit?
I like you. You're fun.
Thanks.
You want to just hang out, or
Yeah.
you're welcome to hang around? We got food, we got drinks, we got drugs.
Sweet.
Do you have drug foods and drug drinks?
Yes,
Thomas does not ask that.
every combination of the three.
Cool.
Wait, you have drink foods?
Yes. It's called a shake. It's a protein shake.
So yeah, Thomas is gonna hang out at this little concert thing and you know, enjoy that. I think though he's gonna like head off at some point during it, like not before the party is ended. Just to keep wandering. He's gonna wander a little bit. Not a
He's
good
wandering
idea.
in the mountains, or just wandering in the state, or
Wandering in the mountains.
okay. Find a rock with a cleft in it that looks like it could fit a sword. I'm kidding.
Listen, he might do that. Like, he's definitely like sort of wandering around sort of aimlessly.
You find a wandering mascot left alone by its company, standing on a rock staring at you. It's shaped like a large, fluffy bunny. What do you do?
It has a drum.
It has a drum, but it's not playing.
The drum. Duh.
But anyway,
Yeah.
you wander for a while. Are you looking for anything? Are you just sort of clearing your head?
I think he's trying to clear his head.
Mm-hmm.
He got kind of freaked out by the imminent death thing fairly steadily.
So you get some fresh air for a while. Nina, are you just sort of spending the 2 weeks around the Dragon Hearts, around the Dragon Speakers?
No, that'll just be like a day or two. Mostly he is checking in on everybody regularly, since we're probably not all. We are spending time away from each other, which is healthy because our work is not healthy. And just turn herself into general, her less apocalyptic running of union stuff, and probably a little work on album and things like that.
Do you drop by to see the show for the Dragon
Oh, for
Speakers
sure, for
when their actual tour venue gets set up?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a sold out show. Everything is high energy, excellent performances. You get the sense that Shawnee thrives in a live stage, and seems like the kind of person who would. She's definitely the kind of front person for a band who is much better live than in a studio, you can gather.
Right.
There's a certain level of energy that you're getting from her on stage that you've probably heard some of her recorded songs. It just kind of her recorded music is good, but it's not the same as seeing her on stage.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
But you all get some research done, and you get some relaxation done. Nico, what were your ideas for your other 2 dates?
Booze, clubs.
Are
He
those
might have
separate
front
dates?
Yes, those are separate dates. He might have front loaded with Astrid's perceived interest, so we'll see how the other two go.
So your perceived your understanding of Astrid's interests are fighting, alcohol, and sex.
Yeah, there will be conversation though as well. What we're thinking, and yeah, he'll try and get a temperature of, is this just fun? Are we going anywhere here? That kind of thing. But trying not to exert pressure one way or the other.
That's a
So-
question for the two of you.
Straight up the relationship talk
Yep.
or hinting at.
You have the relationship talk less than a week after you started dating.
I
It has
think it's
not been less than a
no,
week.
it's probably been closer to a month now because we've had some time skips.
No, he'll go for a very light DTR sort of discussion at probably end of the second or sometime during the third date. This sort of thing doesn't necessarily always come up, but obviously a lot of people who do the work we sort of do end up pulling the short straw at some point.
Dying horribly and painfully.
Right. But in between now and then, like, do you have any other plans?
Between now and my sudden inevitable death,
Yeah.
Nico's good at this.
Nico's not.
and
good
so
at
she's
this.
having a hard time reading him right now. Can I roll for her to read what he's getting at?
Sure, roll me wits and empathy. Nico, roll me charisma expression.
Presence expression,
Presence
or
expression, that's it.
hey, that's a
She
single
doesn't have
die.
empathy. Can I spend a
He
willpower
doesn't.
on
He
this?
doesn't have expression.
This is why he's stumbling so badly.
Here you go.
Yep,
Try
sure is.
really hard.
Good thing botches aren't a thing in this game.
You say good thing. I say
I know.
Oh,
Pity.
It'd be so.
botches are the best.
This
they are.
relationship ends now.
Astrid punches him in the face and walks out.
You sort of get the idea that he's fumbling for trying to get a sense of what this relationship might look like in the future.
Well, I don't usually think too far into the future because gestures around the life that
Inevitable
I have
painful
chosen.
death. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, this is weird for me. I never really thought I'd be in a relationship. Honestly, I'm amazed I'm still alive at this point.
Yeah, no, sometimes that kind of hits you out of left field. You're like, wow, all of the stuff that I've seen and done, and somehow I'm still walking around.
Yeah. But I'd like to spend the time I have with you.
Me too. Most of the people I meet along the way either are here to just do the job, or they've got something they're either chasing or running from. And they're so busy with that that they frequently don't live as much along the way. And at the risk of sounding judgy, that was kind of my first impression of you, but I think there's a lot more to you than that.
I gave up a lot of the life I had when Archer died.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I'm getting better. When he died, I really didn't. He was all I really had. I didn't really care what happened to me at that point. That's when I quit. I quit my wrestling career. I quit everything and basically just threw myself in front of danger. Much like Thomas, but worse.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Jonas, he was the one person that pulled me back from that. And he taught me to focus my emotions on a goal, which at that point was finding and killing Archer.
Mm-hmm.
But I never expected the current outcome to happen.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have either in your shoes.
I haven't expected anything that has happened. So like I said, I'm trying to get better and I'm trying to actually attempt to live life while I have it.
Yeah, no, I see that. And I don't know, you kind of have that aura of somebody who's been underwater for so long and then their head just broke the surface recently.
Yeah.
And they're finding a new equilibrium, but to drive this metaphor all the way to the ground, you haven't gotten your feet on solid ground yet, and until we get Jonas back, that's going to be probably difficult for you, I would assume.
Yeah. It's difficult, and it's definitely been difficult, especially since we found him. Because
Mhm.
now I physically seen what he's gone through. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't good, but I guess a part of me kind of hope maybe he was okay, maybe he was hiding out, laying low for a while for some reason or another. But
Off on some other assignment or something, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, to see the reality of it, it's still difficult to try to live life. I want to live life, but it's difficult when I see what he's going through.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I have to say I'm very impressed by your ability to do that, honestly. My experience was more on the side that I didn't really have anything specifically to care about, except sort of, broad strokes, fight monsters, research stuff occasionally, patch people up when they needed it. But it's been good to have something approaching friends and family again.
I know your father's gone. Do you have any remaining family? Like blood family, that is.
My mom's still alive, but we barely talk. And when we do, every month or so, it's very superficial kind of stuff. she's taken care of. She's got everything she needs. And we didn't really have the closest knit family growing up anyway. So I was more or less on my own for the most part ever since college, basically.
At this particular moment, I would like both of you to roll me wits and composure
Awesome.
as you're sitting at a bar.
3 successes.
2 successes.
Something catches the corner of your eye, both of you, and you stop the conversation for just a second and look. And you just faintly see what looks to be a humanoid shadow disappear out of sight. You are almost certain it had been watching you for a minute.
Chase?
Astrid will look at Nico. Do you want to follow that?
I don't see how we can't, honestly. And he'll get up and try and track it wherever it's headed. Grab Astrid's hand and just drag her along.
You go to find where it left. And when you reach the point that it had been at, you find dust. As you reach what is clearly an alley that leads somewhere else, you just find that along the path that this thing must have retreated, there's just this trail where the bricks and stone of the alley has crumbled to dust.
Well, Nico just stick his finger out and just kind of run it along and pull back with a glove on. He'll put a glove on just in case. Reaper found us, I guess.
I'm guessing. And you said this is a dead end?
Yeah, it sort of vanishes. There's a flash of lightning, and in the reflection of a window on one of the buildings in this alley, you swear you see a figure in a black suit, and then it's gone. You turn around to look where the reflection would have come from, and no one's there.
Why is it following us?
I think I can think of a couple reasons. All of them are horrifying.
Mhm.
So in lieu of anything else, just in case, I want to say, I think I'm falling in love with you and we should get back to the hideout.
I agree.
Cool. And we run for a car.
Ah, yes, cars. Famously non-lethal.
Right.
Look,
So
there
you-
is no getting from one place to another in the modern day that is not potentially lethal, and there's no better or worse way to do it other than, driving backwards and drunk and with your eyes shut.
Teleport.
But
I do not recommend that.
You drive off, and as you look in your rear view, you just see this pale individual in a black suit standing across the road from you, just sort of watching, and you see these faint glow of what seems like purple eyes. And then as you're driving away, 2 cars ram headfirst into each other.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Like directly in front of us?
No, 2 cars ram headfirst in front into each other, obscuring him from view.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Like, right. Just
Like in
slightly.
front of where he's standing.
Like they don't hit us though, right?
No, like he's
Okay.
a ways behind you, like at a turn in the road, like at a T junction in the road, way behind you.
He
and
just killed like 3 people to make a point.
I like how you're all assuming it's automatically the worst possibility.
I'm not saying that's the worst possibility. I'm just saying he killed 3 people just to make a point.
Yep. And at that, Nico locks his eyes on the road ahead, trying to keep the best visibility on any other traffic hazards approaching that he can, grabs Astrid's hand, and drives home as fast as he safely can.
Those people very easily could have been destined to die anyways.
I mean,
also only 2 cars rammed. There's a minimum of 2.
there's definitely going to be more than one person in one of those cars.
No, it was only one person. The other one, and this is how you know how powerful he was the Google Street Cam car, which never wrecks into anything.
That is a lie, good sir.
No, the other was a Tesla, so the guy survived because he was in the back seat.
Fuck you.
No, the problem is the first guy survived because the other one was a Tesla, so he just drove right through and kept going and didn't realize he'd hit anything.
Teslas are not that fragile.
But you pass on and continue forward and
Continue on, please.
No.
You pass on.
Right there in the car.
You can take in
Like
different
said.
ways.
You continue on, and you make your way.
Pass on.
No, you
that may have slipped into my terminology because you just had an encounter with death, maybe. But you make it back to the hideout.
Is everyone at the hideout?
I probably am.
I'm probably not because I'm doing investigation stuff.
Thomas?
Yeah, this is like for the end, probably. Yeah. He's there. He has attempted to, because he was wandering on the mountain for a while, and so he stopped shaving and has decided that this looks good. It does not.
So as you walk in, you're like, the first thing you hear is, "I promise you, it looks fucking awful."
Okay, so what Astrid and Nico see then is a sunburned Thomas with just a pale patch on his face where the beard was. So that's what you see. Anyway, carry on.
How many nicks are there?
How
many little pieces of toilet paper does he have stuck to his face?
Just like one.
Okay.
One. He's fairly careful.
And Thomas knows his way around blades, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Astrid is just completely pale and still clinging on to Nico's hand.
Oh, thank the adversary. Okay, you guys are here. Can you tell me what's going on?
We just saw the Reaper Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he killed 2 cars in front of us, behind us.
And he was following us.
He knows what bars I like.
So naturally, you led him to the hideout.
Fuck you. Like he couldn't have found us there.
I
He's
mean,
death. You don't exactly get to just lock the doors against death.
honestly, I feel like he knows everything about all of us, and I assumed that from the get-go. Sorry if you didn't. He's death.
He's disconcerting.
I mean, that's fair. Are you guys okay?
Looks over at Astrid.
Astrid sits down and grabs a bottle of vodka.
Yes, I'm like, Thomas, booze now.
Ah. Yes. You'll definitely-
Bring our two lovebirds some booze. Beyond mental trauma, are you okay? Are you feeling weird?
I think I'm fairly normal.
Okay.
Eaten any raw eggs recently? And
What does that have to do with anything?
botulism.
No, we're
I'm just checking.
all right.
Do we need to get our coffins now?
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, we can't get
Botulism.
them till they're ready.
I was gonna say, I think
They're not going to be. They're not. We can't just say you need to be done now. And
I definitely don't want to get into one right now.
that's fair. You don't have to. How clear was it that they killed? That they specifically did it for you, as a lack of a better way to put it.
Pretty clear.
like Final Destination levels of clear.
Okay.
If I'm
I'm good.
remembering correctly, yeah.
To be specific, you were driving away and you looked in your rear view and he was standing like, you know how there's in a T junction, there's the street opposite and like there's the buildings on the other side of the T junction and you're the leg of the T.
At the top of the T, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He was standing on that side of the road, which is away from you because you're driving down the bottom of the T.
Yeah.
And as he was watching you, two cars went across the T and rammed into each other, and that was when it obscured him and you could no longer see
lost
him.
sight of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was unnecessarily cinematic, let's just say.
Okay. So I'm going to put you were there. You guys were there. I wasn't. But
Beat by beat, we're having a conversation in a bar.
right.
Both of us about the same time see a weird shadow thing off to the corner of the side that just kind of vanishes out of sight. Us being us naturally are like, okay, well, we better check that out rather than just be like, I'm sure it's fine.
Right.
Go out into an alley. Bricks are like crumbling into dust and shit. There's a bolt of lightning. We see a reflection in a building that is like, man in black suit, shadowy figure, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn around and of course there's not one there. So we're like, maybe we should get the fuck out of here. Get in the car, start driving away, and then in the rear view mirror with him on the other side and then gone,
Sounds like somebody wanted to have a conversation.
That may very well have been, but given what we've heard of him, I'm not super inclined to have a conversation while I'm wearing a meat suit.
No, legit. I'm just saying, if he wanted to kill you, like if he was opposed to what we were doing, you wouldn't be here right now.
No, that is very true. But
Astrid is... sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say Astrid's just visibly shaking right now.
Yep. Yeah. Nico's still got her hand.
Unless he's toying with his food.
No.
Yes, no. I feel like once death decides that now is the time, now is the time, and you probably don't get to have much say in that.
Right.
And maybe he did want a conversation. Still, we have a plan to minimize the risk of conversation.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that you should have had the conversation there. I'm just trying to point out, as obviously fucked up and disturbing as it is, and I don't blame you for being freaked out about it, I don't think from what you're telling me, I don't think it was meant to be a threat, because I don't think death makes threats.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I'm sure to him, maybe that was just sort of a drive-by, wave in the window kind of thing.
He added you. He just added
Death
you.
is following us on Facebook. Great.
Yeah, he absolutely just added you.
Send tweet.
All right. Well, Maybe
all
he
I'm
did.
saying is, I think you guys are probably safe right now.
I certainly hope
when
so.
death hits send tweet, someone dies.
Right. And
Legit.
as long as he's willing to hold off on sliding into my DMs until I'm outside of my mortal coil, I'm fine with that.
Absolutely.
Sort of.
No DM sliding.
Your phone goes off as one message.
You up?
It's just the skull emoji.
Yeah.
All right. Astrid, how you doing?
Fine.
Skull, scythe, eggplant. Sweat, sweat.
All right. You got a drink? We're going to get you some water.
Yep.
Okay.
And
You're good. You're fine here.
would you feel safer anywhere else?
No,
Okay.
I'm okay here.
And with that,
All right.
we will go ahead and end for the week.
Before we leave, I just want to say rest in peace to Dr. Kentaro Miura, the author of Berserk, who, it was just reported earlier today, passed away on the 6th.
Oh, that sucks.
Rest in peace to the author of one of the most influential pieces of media in our lifetimes. Berserk has influenced everything from Dark Souls to Castlevania to the games that I run and the characters that I make. It's a really fantastic piece of fiction. If any of you haven't ever read it or watched it, trigger warning, blood, gore, but
And more.
and blood,
And-
gore, and more.
Blood, gore, and
Sexual assault.
Assault.
Yeah.
sexual
Yeah.
assault.
It's
and-
very, very
yes.
dark, but it's also very, very good.
Yes.
So if you can, I would highly recommend reading it. But yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.